Hello, my name is Sifu Mark Masari. I'm bringing to you a video. This is kind of an introductory video. It's going to be a little bit of an update as to what's been going on in APLEA for those of you who've been following us on Facebook or through the monthly newsletters, and try to get you up to speed. Also, first of all, I'd just like to say Merry Christmas, Happy Thanksgiving, whatever holidays you celebrate, those are the ones I do, but anyways, Happy Hanukkah, all the good ones, right? So I wanted to say, happy holidays to all of you guys, and thanks for listening. Thanks for being a part of what we do here. Without you guys, we wouldn't be able to do it. So I have a lot of things to tell you about. I have a little whiteboard here. You probably won't see what I have written up here unless you really have a big screen TV, but don't worry so much about it. I make sure to talk about everything I draw on the board. It's just really for me. I like it. It's mental notes. So anyways, wanted to let you know we have our new t-shirts in. Here's an example of one. I call them our vintage t-shirts because they have the two original guys, is my brother and myself, back in, right after 9/11. We kind of developed this company. It was Masari Wing Chun Academy at one time, and then it became American Private Law Enforcement Association. So this is got two of us. We're actually, the picture was taken right outside New York City. We were attending a bail enforcement training, and we're hunting down some PIs. Usually private investigators hunt you down, but we were hunting them down because we wanted to get involved in the security aspect of, the private side of law enforcement. Armed security, unarmed security, et cetera, et cetera. I believed, when 9/11 happened, I believe that it was a game changer for me. It was a game changer for a lot of us. I've been hearing a lot of business testimonials of people that their whole business model was a post 9/11 business model, because all of a sudden America was like, oh my gosh, we have a major problem. Prior to 9/11, we were like, yeah, we're good. We are the biggest superpower in the world. Nobody can touch us on our territory. Yeah, we have crime, we have violence, but for the most part, martial arts was relegated to self-defense for the bad guys on the street. And after 9/11, many martial arts instructors, including myself, started saying, we got to do more. We have to find out more. We have to answer the questions that everybody's asking. What can I do to help? What can I do to prevent the next terrorist attack? I'm riding a bus, I'm riding a train, et cetera, et cetera. What am I going to do? So that's kind of where APLEA got formed. APLEA stands for American Private Law Enforcement Association. We also formed, prior to that, we incorporated NYCRP, New York Capital Recovery and Protection. The reason we incorporated that is we were originally just focused on a local market, and then we realized almost simultaneously with founding that corporation that this was a bigger problem. So we needed to include a name that brought APLEA into the picture. So that's what we did. My brother got called back to go to Iraq shortly after that, and he got injured in Baghdad and was medically discharged from the military later. Myself, I was in the Air Force at the time. He was Army, I was Air Force, and anyway, so that's the story. You can find out all about it if you're interested, and send me a message, and I'll be happy to answer those questions. But anyways, where's APLEA gone from since then? Pretty much, it was relegated for the most part. I got involved in security in the law enforcement, military side of the house. I was a peace officer on base for the Air National Guard, and I did it first as an augmentee from 2003 to 2005, and then, from 2005 to 2007, but I was on and off. After 9/11, there's a lot of stuff going on, and basically I got 2 years of full-time experience doing that. I ended up switching, becoming a peace officer on the civilian side on base, and then after that, I went and transferred and became security forces with the Air Force. So a lot of changes happened on the martial arts side of things. As far as the Masari Wing Chun Academy or APLEA was concerned, I was for the most part just doing martial arts. We really didn't integrate over that much. I was very interested after 9/11 in Israeli Krav Maga, but cost was a prohibitor for me. Most of the Krav Maga guys that are out there doing it, was very expensive to get involved. I did end up getting involved in an organization in 2009 as an instructor. I stayed with that group for about 1.5 years, and then I decided that it wasn't a solution for a lot of the questions I was asking. Got involved in another organization, and since then I've had several instructors. I've been certified under multiple different instructors. One of the things that changed, though, and this is what we're going to talk about a little bit today, is the synergistic approach to running a martial arts business. I realized that I didn't want to be the guy. I didn't want to be, yes, I love being Sifu Mark, but I didn't want to be the only Sifu, because I talked to my Sifu, and, him doing martial arts for years and years and years, nobody was better than him, and he's still around training today, but the problem is, it's very hard to break away and get a vacation. Very hard to, even for a couple days, you're like, oh, we're going to cancel class this day, this day, and this day, and all of a sudden your membership starts dropping. So when I was in San Antonio, Texas in 2010, I saw Krav Maga school that was doing just that, and I decided this is what I'm headed for. This is what I want APLEA to become someday. And again, not just Krav Maga, but also security side of the house as well. So currently, I'm working part-time as an armed security officer. I've left the military in 2013. I explored another business, helped a friend of mine get a business up and running. It's still in existence today. After a couple of years, we decided that it just wasn't working out, so we kind of parted ways to do our own things. And this is where I am. So the year 2015 has been a year full of change for me. Again, 3-4 months ago, I was working 7 days a week. I was doing armed security. I was bouncing, doing a whole bunch of stuff, teaching martial arts. But then things started to change, and one of them, if you're interested in this, I can tell you about it another time, but I realized that one of the things that I wasn't doing right is real estate. And many of the big businesses, from McDonald's to Kentucky Fried Chicken to, Donald Trump, all these guys that have made millions, a lot of them are dealing in real estate, not just one business facet. Because again, the idea of being a business owner is that you're tied to that business. I saw it with my father too. He ran a garage door business. My grandfather, before him, and my grandmother literally was tied. This was prior to cell phones. She was tied to her phone. She could not leave the house, because if that phone rang, she needed to pick up and answer it with a business name, So I grew up in business, around business, and I always wanted to be a business owner. So for a number of years, from 1998 on, I've been trying different things, learning from my mistakes. I really believe in 2015 it's come together for us. Things are starting to happen. I'm starting to see progress that I haven't seen for years and years and years. There's a lot of people out there like, yeah, this is just another one of Mark's things, but, it's okay. Honestly, I've told people this, right now I'm looking to build a team bigger, but if you're not interested, that's fine as well. I can do this totally independent. But one of the things I found was a mistake throughout the years is the team. Always I believed in a team approach, but the problem was I'd either give up too much when creating a team, or I would not empower enough. So one of the things that's changed this year is I decided to build a bigger team. And so we've done that, and we've also kind of established a relationship between martial arts business and real estate investing, So my goal is now to begin to start planting schools. I had an affiliate school program that lasted for a few years. It's still going, but it wasn't doing what we wanted it to do. And there's lots of reasons why, It's easy as a business owner to make excuses. When you're an employee and the boss says you're not doing your job, it's pretty easy to figure out why. As a business owner, it's pretty easy to kind of take the pressure off yourself and say, well, we don't have enough marketing, we don't have enough of this, we got to develop a better system, all these different things. But anyways, ultimately for me, I felt that the team was not in place. We had a very good team, but we needed a bigger team. So that's kind of where I've been headed this year. Also too, in the process, go from 2002, 2003 with my brother and I to what APLEA is today. There's been a very, very important team that's been in place. What I'm coming to call the founders team was the original 4. Back in 2011, Steve McMillan, Sean Talbot, Joe Doby, and myself were kind of what made APLEA. We decided to establish American APLEA Training Academy LLC, and we basically at that point decided to make the team a little bigger. We all went and trained under Sergeant Major Nirma Man, got certified as instructors, and there's a couple reasons for this. One of them was because I wanted to have a program that I wasn't the lead guy in. Joe Doby, he's a master crew. He has a basic Muay Thai system that he comes from. Sean Talbot's been involved in martial arts for years, and similar to myself, has a Wing Chun background. Steve McMillan, Fujo Pai, Kung Fu, as well as Wing Chun. And so we wanted to bring something to the table that we could say, okay, this is the program we're all trained in. Our instructor is here, but we're all a team in this. And so I will say one of the biggest miracles of that team is that, well, for 2 years, I was building another business. These guys they held the fort down. And Burnt Hills, where I'm standing training now, from 2013 to 2015, I didn't teach classes here. It was held down by the team. And when things kind of didn't work out with my partner and I was able to come back into a studio that was still running. So, and the team is still there. So huge thank you to those guys. Again, everybody does different things. My point is that at this point I'm looking to build the team bigger. I have opportunities now. If you're looking to start a school, we do have an affiliate program, but we also have more of a partnership program as well too, where we would actually help find the location. We would partner directly with you and help establish an APLEA system. It's more of a corporate program than it is a franchise program. But we have some other things coming in 2016 as far as franchising. If you're a school owner and you're looking for ways to raise money for your school, I have a real estate investing club that now I'm able to give referral money for $1,000 to $10,000 per referral. So it's pretty cool. Again, it's just an organization that I found along the way. I didn't have to do it myself. It's kind of plug and play. So if you're interested in that, let me know. But anyways, let me talk about why we're here today. All right. So it's December, early December. Most of you who know me have either met me as a Krav Maga guy. Some of you know that I've done Wing Chun before. And you know, if you've been at the trade shows, you've probably seen me, and I've had lots of different things at the table. I honestly don't even know. I'm going to be at the trade show again in January, which is coming up next month at the Action Hall of Honors, and I've been there every year since 2000. In fact, since 2004, my brother and I were there, and that's where we first went to the trade show in Atlantic City, and where we saw the Israeli program that, you know, got us started. That was back in 2004. So anyways, a lot of history there, but it's always a good time. If you're interested in becoming an affiliate instructor of ours or just doing some training, the first day we're offering a training for $100. If you're part of, you know, the weekend, I believe the weekend ticket is less than, it's like maybe $40, $50, and you can come to all 3 days. And there's different tournaments and martial art. It is the biggest martial arts program and expo on this side of, you know, the United States that's offered. So very big. A lot of famous people there. I met the teacher, the bad guy, the Karate Kid. Met a lot of cool people there. So anyways, synergy, team, all right? This is one of the reasons that I'm doing this. Why I put a newsletter out. A lot of people do martial arts for different reasons. Hopefully all of us as instructors want to help train people to keep them safe. You know, the APLEA motto is equipping leaders to defend freedom. So right from the beginning, I wanted to train the trainer as being a big part of our program. And we were originally going to do that with a Wing Chun system, and we decided to go with Krav Maga because of its applications with fighting terrorism and just the weapon systems that are involved in Krav Maga. So, but for those of you who've never heard me talk about this before, I'm going to basically, the next few months, I'm going to start a series called Wing Chun Krav Maga application. And so, just to tell you, this is probably the first time I've ever talked about this, is Wing Chun Kung Fu is founded around the same time, actually a few hundred years ago, but around the same time that Krav Maga was becoming a system, Wing Chun was also kind of getting its name. Ip Man Wing Chun. Grandmaster Ip Man was this sifu to Bruce Lee. Most of you that don't know who Ip Man is, you know who Bruce Lee is. And Bruce Lee was credited with bringing Kung Fu to the West. So I got involved in Wing Chun almost by accident back in 1993, and my sifu took me from like a kid in the martial arts to where I am today. So he deserves, he's really the guy who put most of the time and effort, like a lot of you instructors that are out there that have you poured hundreds of thousands of hours into your students, and it's very sad when you see them doing something else. But my sifu and I have kind of come to terms with that. Between the two of us, we're still very good friends, we're family. But anyways, I believe it's important as a martial arts student to constantly be learning, constantly be training. And so what I believe happened when I first saw Krav Maga is I saw that Krav Maga and Wing Chun as systems had a synergistic effect, all right? Wing Chun was, obviously in Hong Kong, it was the Krav Maga of Hong Kong. So Hong Kong, very similar to New York City, very big city, melting pot, lots of gangs, lots of Western and European influence, and boxing was prevalent. In fact, there's a new movie coming out with Mike Tyson in it about Ip Man. But anyways, so it was there was a huge self-defense theme in Wing Chun, and a lot of people even say that the Ip Man Wing Chun is a huge different animal than the mainland Wing Chun, which is just coming out of China in the Southern Shaolin Temple. So anyways, a lot of similarities. And when I saw, having studied Wing Chun for the years that I had studied, and then I saw Krav Maga side by side, I was like, this would work. There's a synergistic relationship. So for me, synergy and synergistic relationships it's like my word of the year. I'm probably going to be saying a lot this year, because I believe there's, for example, myself teaching a martial arts program, and then I bring a partner, Joe Doby, and together the two of us can achieve more than we can achieve separately. That's what synergy is. It's multiplication versus addition. So, and obviously all the other partners that have helped me along the way too and are still involved. So anyways, monthly videos. So a lot's been happening. So to go back a little bit, back in June, when I realized the partnership that I had formed a couple years ago was not working out, I had to go back to work. I got a job as a restaurant manager, did that for a year, working 7 days a week, and then I decided I missed security. I got back involved in security, and doing armed security, did that for about 6 months. But in the process of that, I had a lot of time, as those of you who've done security realize, is there's a lot of standing around time, and I had a lot of time to think and look back and say, well, what has gone wrong? What has gone right? How do we need to adjust fire and hit the target now with APLEA? So that's where the real estate came into play, and that actually has helped me, in less than, today it's been 91 days. In 90 days, to go from 7 days a week doing security on top of the martial arts to 1 day a week, and it's pretty much optional at this point. I don't really need the income from it. I just like to be involved in security. So that may change as things get busier with the other stuff I got going on. But anyways, so Wing Chun. So what does Wing Chun have involved that Krav Maga does not? Okay? Both systems have a very self-defense focus. All right? Both systems have a lot of the same techniques. And I will say this to you. This is something I say to every one of my students that come to me and say, hey, I got this many years in karate, this many years in taekwondo, this many years in this, I'm a black belt in this, black belt in that, black belt in this, even Krav Maga, when they come to me, and they say to me, well, I don't really need to learn anything new. And I always tell them what my instructors have told me, which is, everything you know, just put it over here. Just put it on the back burner, focus on what we're doing, pretend like you're a beginner, and you're going to learn a lot, and then down the road you'll be able to reintegrate some of that stuff. So, for example, punching, kicking, blocking exist in almost every martial arts system, okay? So, this is why a lot of people ask, well, how can you certify Krav Maga instructors so fast, There's several reasons for that. One is because Krav Maga is conceptual, it's not just technique-based. Another reason is because a lot of the techniques that are taught in other systems. So, the same technique of vertical sweep is taught in a dozen other systems. All right, the concepts of Krav Maga and the methodologies of how you implement that might be different in every system, and also different from instructor to instructor. So basically, I took my own advice. So when I first got involved in Krav Maga, especially with CT 707, I decided, after talking to some of my partners, like let's just table some of this stuff. First, I offered them side by side, and then I pretty much just put Wing Chun on the back burner and just taught Krav Maga, because most of what I was teaching in Krav Maga could also be taught with Wing, or what I was teaching with Wing Chun could also be taught with Krav Maga as a curriculum. So, you have a brand new student walk in the door, you got to still teach them how to punch, you got to teach them how to stand, you got to teach them how to fight. And the thing is, like, Wing Chun doesn't have kicks to the head, neither did my Krav Maga system, okay? So, now, for those of you who do Krav Maga, some of you have high kicks, round kicks to the carotid as part of your Krav Maga, and have also done that in karate, and that's why you like that. For me, I like the fact that in the Krav Maga system that I'm currently with, we kept the kicks low, just like Wing Chun. So what I'm explaining to you is I'm showing you the recipe. It's kind of funny, you talk about recipes and stuff a lot during the holidays. This is the recipe for what APLEA Training Academy really is. It is a blend of a lot of different systems, but heavily influenced by Wing Chun and heavily influenced with Krav Maga, which makes the APLEA combative system. So, anyways, monthly videos. So I've been showing you some of our curriculum with monthly videos throughout this time. Now I decided to take the next few months and basically give you the overlap. Show you how Wing Chun and Krav Maga can have a synergistic effect. And when I say that, I don't necessarily mean you need to go to a Wing Chun school and start learning Wing Chun. How I do it in my school is I start everybody doing Krav Maga. And I give the foundation. They learn foundations of punching, kicking, blocking, attacking, defending, everything in Krav Maga. Ground fighting, all right? Then, at the same point, the only part that I find I haven't really have a good place for that comes from Wing Chun, that it also exists in my Krav Maga system, is forms, traditional forms. We're going to talk about that in a second. The other thing is sensitivity training, or rolling as it's also called. If you talk to a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu guy, rolling is literally when you're rolling on the ground and you're trying to do moves, and you're actually developing sensitivity. Same thing in wrestling. In boxing, they use sparring as a way to kind of do rolling and develop sensitivity in the fight. Wing Chun does this with what we call sticky hands or chi sao. So having had a huge amount of foundation developed with me with chi sao, I want to implement that. And so again, you can't really say, we're going to call this Krav Maga. It's not, it's Wing Chun. But all the techniques coming in from Chi Sao are also exist, a lot of them exist within Krav Maga as well. And I believe what happens is this would heighten your reflex, kind of like taking a sword and just sharpening it, right? The sword is a sword, whether it's sharp or not, but a sharp sword is going to cut better. So I believe that learning Chi Sao, sticky hands, will also sharpen the sword of the Krav Maga practitioner. The second one is forms. Now, there's a lot of, especially in the Krav Maga MMA world, there's a lot of negative about forms and katas. I'm a traditionalist. You know, even though Wing Chun is a more modern system, it still falls into what I consider a traditional system because it has katas. It has, you know, uniforms, a lot of it. Again, there's some Wing Chun guys that teach their Wing Chun primarily like a Krav Maga program. My Sifu was very much like that. He even has admitted to me a lot of the drills that I learned. He learned some of them in Israel when he was in the Navy. So anyways, my thought is this, that we take what's good and we leave what's bad. And it doesn't matter what we call it, and it doesn't matter who we give credit to, because ultimately what works is what we care about. We want what works. When it doesn't work, we don't want it. We don't want to hold on to things. The problem with traditional systems is if it doesn't work, we keep it in there because that's part of the system, you know? So I understand that, but katas have application, forms have application. So one of the things my Sifu taught me a long time ago was that what separated our Wing Chun school from a lot of other Wing Chun schools is a lot of Wing Chun schools never learn the application pieces to the forms. They just do the forms, or katas, you know? So what I'm going to attempt to do in these next several months of videos is I'm going to break down to you, I'm going to teach you the forms in sections, and I'm also going to give you the breakdown. Okay, some of that I'll do independently, some of that I'll do with partners, and hopefully you'll be able to see, and hopefully you'll be able to see some value like I see value. And if not, that's fine, and if you do, great.